I have been a bookkeeper now for 13 years since I initially set up my practice. During that time, I've always tended to focus on construction clients. We do work with other clients, but the majority of our clients are construction.
What was your main reason for looking for support generally in your business at that point?
So at that point, I was working all hours, not spending any time doing anything that I enjoyed. I wasn't charging us. I was working and I was basically firefighting. Whoever shouted the loudest would be the person that I would do the work for. I was at a very low point emotionally, to the point that I was actually ready to close the doors on my office, and had got rid of all my staff just after COVID hit and just said, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. At that moment in time, I couldn't afford to join the Success Lounge. So I borrowed the money from my children's savings account to let me in, to give me that last ditch attempt. If it worked, or I felt that I could move forward, then I would continue going. If I didn't, then I would shut the business down.
Oh, wow. That's such a massive point to reach. Did you look at other coaching? Were you looking at other programs, other coaching? Have you tried anything else before that point?
So I joined another network, and I was paying them almost £1,000 a month. But within their network, there wasn't very many bookkeepers. I met a network of really good people, but it wasn't the network where in actual fact I could open up comfortably and talk about what was going on. I always describe myself as your non-traditional accountancy member. You won't catch me in a suit and boots and things. So turning up to calls and everybody's wearing a shirt and tie and that, very stereotypical, but I just didn't feel that I fitted in.
We're having this chat while you're in the field, so it's like, I know you, Leanda. I know that you like your freedom and you have your own style and your own way, and I think it's really good to find your own people, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And within the 6FB, I've got my tribe, as I call them, all the ones that you speak to day in, day out all the time. We've got the wider tribe of the whole network that everybody chats to. We all get on, we all understand each other, and we're all very open and honest with each other.
If you don't mind sharing, then what have been your results so far from the programme?
So we had a turnover of about £34,000 prior to joining the programme. Our turnover is now 120,000. I have a happier team, and I have a team that's engaged in the work, but also probably the biggest success is removing myself from day to day in the office. I very rarely attend the office now. After leaving at the end of March to go and do a cycle across the country, I haven't actually been back in the office to work. And we're having this chat in the middle of July.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, tell me about this. This is like your greater goal, traveling. Tell me a bit about your bike ride and what you did with your family.
So my husband and my two children, who at the time were 9 and 11, we got on our bikes at Land's End on the 5th of April with a trailer with all of our kit in it, blowing an absolute hoolie. The wind was like almost blowing the trailer over. We didn't think we were going to do it. We thought the trailer's so heavy, there's no way we were going to cycle to John O'Groats. In the end, the ride ended up being 1,327 miles. We did it in 75 days, totally unsupported. So we had everything on that trailer and on our bikes that we needed. However, the support that we got from the 6FB community, from random strangers and things on the ride, we stayed in sheds, we stayed in fields, we stayed in an orchard, we stayed in people's paddocks and went stargazing with them. We stayed in a random stranger's house in the middle of Manchester. Experiences that just wouldn't have been possible, and possibly I wouldn't have had the confidence to go and do had I not been through all this with the business as well, because it's actually made me stand up and talk about who I am and what I've achieved so far. So in actual fact, putting myself out there in that awkward situation was really good, and building that confidence up meant that in actual fact, when somebody offered help, rather than say no, I would accept it and take it and go and enjoy the experience.
You've said that you've been part of other groups for accountants before. What is it about us that made you think that the Success Programme was the right move for you?
It was just, so one thing was the ability to be honest and open. In the business, there was always been someone that I could chat to, but at that point, the individual was an employee and a good friend, and you didn't want to declare everything. And sometimes it's nice to have the outsiders that you can have a conversation with and bounce an idea off, and somebody will come back to you. Or in my instance, sit and go, I'm working 30 hours, 40 hours a month for a client, and it works out I'm earning like pennies an hour. What am I doing wrong? And the whole group will hold you accountable and go, you need to change this now, or you need to do something like this, or hold your hand up and say, I'm struggling, and someone will come and help. Whereas you don't get that in other communities. There's lots of different communities out there, and since 6FB has come about and it's getting more and more popular, there's other communities that are working in a similar way and offering the support and things, but I don't think any of them have a support network like you have within 6FB, because we're all there supporting each other, collaborating. We're not in competition with each other. Even people that are setting up new businesses in the same line of work, say a payroll bureau, they will help other people that are at the start of the process and doing it, because in actual fact, together we're a team. And if we all work together, we can provide all of the businesses in the UK with better service.
Yeah, that's it. We can raise each other up, can't we, when we like lead the way?
Set the standard so that in actual fact, when people go looking for a bookkeeper, they're looking for one that possibly is part of the 6FB network, that has worked with other bookkeepers, that has that network of people that they can pull in. So it gives a bit of a, it's not like a professional endorsement, but it's an endorsement where they see that in actual fact you're working with that wider network together to provide a high level service, and everybody's working to provide a higher level service.
It's like a culture, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like a way of working and way of approaching business, and that support. It's really that's really interesting. Your mindset's completely changed from being in that lowest possible point that you could have been at lockdown, during lockdown, to being traveling, living your best life. I know you homeschool your kids now so that you can have these adventures, and I know that you've got amazing plans, and we'll hear about that in the future, I'm sure. What do you think's been the biggest mindset shift? What's changed for you that's made you approach life in such a different way?
There's probably a couple. One is realizing my value. In actual fact, I bring a lot of knowledge to the job, and I think it probably came from one of my team members. They said, we don't actually need you in the office to work. We just need you to be the enthusiastic person that you are and boost us up. We don't want you in the office working. We just want you there that we can ask the question to, or if you come in, you bring cake and tea, we just all have a chat and see where we are. And that's a big mindset shift for me, because I was always under the impression that I need to do the work. Whereas now I'm not doing the work, I'm running the business.
What would you say is the most powerful part of the programme?
Do you know what the most part is? Jo sharing her story. Because it makes you realize that you are never the only one. There will always be somebody else out there who will have the same issues, or will have gone through the same issues, who will have some answers, might not have all the answers, but somebody that you can go to. And so as I watch Jo share her story, I'm going, oh, it's not just me. And then, and that, I think that is the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest thing for people that come and join the community, is to realize it's not just them. A lot of us have suffered the same sort of issues. There might be some which are specific just to individuals, but there will be at least one other person that has gone through that same situation with you.
That honesty is really important, isn't it? Like, not Jo and I always say, we're not the gurus, we don't know everything, but we know a really amazing network of people, and within this group we'll have the answers, and that's what often you need.
And also, so you've got the technical support, but I think that running the business side of it and being the business owner and getting your business to where you want to be, it doesn't have to be a 6-figure bookkeeping business. If you want to work 10 hours a week through the year and that's all you want to do, that's absolutely fine. It's about building the business that you want to build, and nobody in that community will judge you for not wanting to have a 6-figure business. 6 figures in my head is not about building a 6-figure business. If that's not what you want, 6 figures is about building the business that gets you to living the life that you want to live. And I now do that with my clients. I ask them what life they want to live so we can work it back into the business and how the business can achieve what they want.
Amazing, Leanda. Leanda, how can people connect with you and find out about what you do, and also about your adventures outside of work as well? Because I'm sure we want to follow your journey.
You can find us on Facebook, Celtic Bookkeeping. You can also find us on LinkedIn, and my personal LinkedIn, Leanda Daddow, which is where I tend to post a lot more stuff. But also, if you're interested in following me traveling, so our name is Aventur Telu, which is AVENTUR TEYLU. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Stands for Adventure Family in Cornish. And it's all about going out and having an adventure. Behind every adventure creates a memory, and memories are what we're left with at the end of the day. So if I can inspire another family to go out and have an adventure, then that's another goal achieved.
Oh, Leanda, thank you so much. I love chatting to you. Always love chatting to you.